ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another edition of the Ultra Confusion Thursday Night Hangout.
Charlie, are you sure it's actually Thursday? Because it feels like Thursday.
It is a Thursday, which makes it a Thursday, so it's a Thursday.
But how many Thursdays are in the Thursday?
How many do you want?
You know what's really solid about this being a Thursday?
What's that?
It's the last Thursday of 2017 for Ultra Confusion.
That's correct. Okay, thank you for that clarification. Ladies and gentlemen, this is our last Thursday Night Hangout for 2017. Next week, myself and probably Zealeus will be in a location where internet is not really a thing.
No, wait, I can't go someplace without internet. How will I survive? Without the Wi-Fi signals going through my brain cannot operate all of the pathways to lead me to righteousness.
I don't know. I really don't know. But I think we're going to be okay. So, ladies and gentlemen, I, of course, am Charlie, and this is, once again, the prolific Connor himself, Zealeus.
Rock on in the free world.
And, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to jump right into it.
Yeah. So we were going to talk about Apple loot boxes, and basically the moral of the story is Apple is going to force, is it actually force request? What's the actual verbiage?
It is added guidelines that disclosure of loot probability is mandatory to add a game on the system.
So basically, we talk about that and how I think both Charlie and I can agree this is a great thing, because we've both played enough iOS games with loot boxes where we wonder to ourselves, what the hell is going on here? Am I going to get the purple character? Am I going to get the gray character? Because they usually hide those under very small verbiage as far as what you're getting. So I'm definitely a big fan of this. And the other point that Charlie made before the mics got turned on was, the government's kind of been like, maybe we need to look into these loot boxes. And hopefully Apple doing this will kind of slow down that bandwagon, because I'm all for keeping the government away from my video games. Because it always ends up creating weird bureaucratic rules that hopefully the developers and the manufacturers like Apple get ahead of that game to fix those issues. But where I was going with it was, at some point, Apple already has things in place. It's like, when you purchase stuff on your iPhone, it's...
What phone is that?
That's the 8 Plus. I just got it today. When you purchase stuff with your iPhone here, it's like you have to put your credit card. It's not like it just magically gets purchased. So, you hear these parents, with the kids who got $4,000 worth of Farmville crap. Well, at some point, it's kind of like, why did you let your kid use your phone with the credit card enabled? And part of it's been a learning process. People now know, don't put your credit card on the phone that your kids are using, hopefully, so that doesn't happen. So at some point, yes, we want, transparency and accountability. At the same token, it's also be frickin' responsible for your own actions. And don't be an idiot and put a credit card on a phone that your kid's going to use. Because guess what the kid's going to do with the credit card?
I didn't know it was really charging to your credit card. I thought it was money that I just said okay to.
It's hashtag fake money. Yes.
All right. Let's go into... Let's do this one. This is fun. So Hasbro is going to start. Everyone's got their own cinematic universe. You have Marvel, who's been there for a while. DC, who keeps doing.
They don't know what the hell they're doing.
I don't know what the hell they're doing.
Yeah.
Now Hasbro wants to create a cinematic universe, and to start it off, they're gonna start with G.I. Joes, which of course will this.
Didn't
film,
we already just have 2 G.I. Joes in the last decade?
Yeah, they did one, which was just terrible. Then they did a redo.
I enjoyed both of them.
Okay, nowhere in G.I. Joe's does everyone have like this futuristic mech suit leg thing.
Okay, you have to understand, you and I come from 2 totally different perspectives when it comes to movie. I'm
a purist, you son of a bitch.
I know!
I want, if you're going to give me G.I. Joe's, I want G.I. Joe's.
You know what I want with G.I. Joe? I want large pecs, and I want freaking guns and explosions. Yes, I'm talking about The Rock. I want things to blow up.
Sergeant Slaughter.
Yeah, I want... not that kind of peck.
Hey, he had pecs.
Yeah. So I love big explosions in my movies, and that's all G.I. Joe was. It was great.
No! At the end of every single episode, there's a moral, and knowing is half the battle.
Isn't the moral of the original of the G.I. Joe, the last 2, is like, don't fuck with us, we'll kill you? That's the moral of the story.
Yeah, but those are fictional character. It's not like you're going to run into a white snow ninja after 17 billion buildings blew up because of some dude in a snake head.
But if the ninja wouldn't let you know he ran into you,
Oh, my
otherwise
Lord.
he wouldn't be a very good ninja.
It's not, okay, this is the same problem with Transformers. Transformers, a bunch of robots with a couple people.
Okay.
Not the other freaking way around.
I can't disagree with you.
G.I.
there.
Joe's is supposed to be like, if you want to update G.I. Joe's, you go more Call of Duty Modern Warfare, not futuristic.
Here's the thing. On their own, independent of the lore, G.I. Joe is an entertaining movie. The Transformers was just a giant pile of dung, no matter how you cut it.
Look, dude, there's a lot of muscle and there's a lot of explosions at Transformers. Just unfortunate that that's not Transformers. Transformers
But it's still
are the
terrible.
robots. That's the robots. G.I. Joe's, yeah, you could put a bunch of army dudes together and you could call it G.I. Joe's if you're willing to. Especially if you have, what was it? Oh my gosh, I just blinked out. What's the main character?
Rock?
No, the character name. Hawk? Anyways.
That's not my takeaway from the G.I. Joe movies. Was the
All right,
character.
so anyways, so they're going to start off with G.I. Joe, and then they're going to make a movie based off of one of their other properties called Micronauts. And I had to look that one up because I have
know
no
that one.
freaking clue what the hell Micronauts are. Micronauts basically came out around the time of G.I. Joe, and it's about, it's like they came from a mini alternate universe or something like that. I don't know.
Micronauts makes it interesting.
So October 16, 2020, and then the one that Zealeus and I are probably excited about is another attempt at a Dungeons & Dragons movie, which is set for July 23rd, 2021.
Is that like the Knights of, what is it, Basdom or something? The one on Netflix is the comedy. Basdom? What is it?
Yeah, that's the King
You know
of
what I'm talking
Badassum.
about? Yeah.
It's got the one of the dudes from True Blood. The deputy who gets kidnapped and abused by the werecat.
I haven't actually watched it, but I've heard it's good.
You ever watched True Blood?
No, Knights of Basdom.
Oh yeah, but I'm talking. No, okay, whatever.
I haven't watched True Blood either.
Oh, well, that's where I was. Okay, those are references
yeah.
I was making. Anyways, so there is one other movie that's supposed to come out. It's an untitled Hasbro franchise movie, okay? So they're not saying what it is. So I went ahead and went on the Hasbro website, and I came up with a couple ideas.
Ooh.
And I'm going to run them by Zealeus to see which one he
Yes!
thinks is the most likely suspect, okay?
I'm excited about this.
All right, so first off, you got to go with the big property, My Little Pony.
The bronies will be happy, man.
All right, let's go more product line than anything.
Okay.
Nerf.
No. Okay, so you can have people fighting each other with foam weapons? That doesn't seem very effective.
All right, let's go with an oldie but goodie
Actually-
board game.
Nerf would be like a good Home Alone type of movie.
Interesting. Yeah, that's true.
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
So let's go with a oldie but goodie board game, Monopoly. They've done Battleship, so why the hell not?
Fuck it, you stole my line. That's exactly what I was saying. I mean, I could see Monopoly because it could be like a big old corporate. You know what it would be?
What?
Oh, God. It's the name of it. Okay, there's this anime on Netflix. I can't think of it right now. But basically, the idea is you have superheroes, and they're sponsored by giant corporate conglomerates. It's like a comedy. It's really actually entertaining.
I feel like I've seen this, but
It's funny, but that's kind of what Monopoly reminds. I mean, I know it's not actually anything with Monopoly, but it's the way that movies bastardize the franchises. Like that's kind of what I'm going for is this because you got that's what Monopoly is all about is the big corporate conglomerates.
Right.
And this is corporate conglomerates. You know, you got there's little pieces you move around the board. Same thing, and it's anime. You got the heroes that the corporations are trying to move.
just real quick, sidebar here. I heard a story about a guy who was, I can't remember if he was protesting or he's in an area where police officers were arresting individuals. And so, when you get arrested, you get to the office, the station. There's
Yes.
a station. They're going to check. They're going to empty out all your pockets, right?
Yep.
So one gentleman walked in, and he was not playing this, of course, but he had a get out of jail free card from Monopoly in his back pocket.
Nice.
And the officer's like, No.
Nah. Don't worry.
Anyways, so all right, so we've done I've done My Little Pony, Nerf, Monopoly. Now let's do an absolute 100% curveball. Would be an interesting movie. Not gonna lie. Don't know how they pull it off, but Mr. Potato Head.
You know, I know you already said it, but if they can do Battleship, they can do any freaking thing. Let's be honest here.
I know. So,
I guess Mr. Potato Head is like a super spy because he can put on like anything on his head and stuff. Yeah, he's a chameleon.
It's like Hitman, but for kids.
I like it.
Anyways, okay. Now the final one, once again, product line, and I'm just gonna say, for this one, I'm thinking along the lines of Lego themed stuff. Okay,
yeah.
Play-Doh.
Okay, well, I can see like a Lego type of movie. Here's the thing: if you're taking product lines.
Yeah.
Okay, I don't think this was really a spoiler. So I saw the new Star Wars movie yesterday.
No, don't say anything.
And here's the thing. But this is every Star Wars movie, though.
Okay, yeah.
Every Star Wars movie, they throw in certain characters or races that have nothing to do with actually anything useful other than one thing and one thing only. Selling damn plush toys to kids. Like,
oh, is that the little...
yeah, and like I see them, and I'm like, that's the only reason that's in here is so that Disney can make more money by selling the shit at Target. Like, that's the only reason it's there. Yeah, that's what I love about this stuff.
Okay, since we went to the Star Wars side, I've heard that Mark Hamill has not been happy with the direction and the story of these three movies. He basically has come out and said that the prequels were a much better story.
Interesting.
Because he says that it's kind of like a rehashing of the original three.
I could actually see that. I could see where he's coming from. Having seen the second one, and with what happened, I could see why he wasn't necessarily happy. But at the same time, something does happen where I kind of have to disagree with what he's saying. I mean, I'm not going to say what, because that's a huge spoiler.
Oh my God!
But at the same time, I can see where he's saying, because in a way, yes. I mean, you know, it's good versus evil. Hello.
Hello. The
surprise!
light versus dark. Hello.
So I could kind of see where he's coming from. The funny thing is, so going back to Hasbro's Dungeons and Dragons, it seems like there's been a D&D movie in the works for like, how many times have we heard that there's going to be a Dungeons and Dragons movie? It seems it's been like at least 4 times now.
Yeah, but there's 3 out.
Yeah, true.
There's 2 made for TV and 1 that was, well.
See, here's the thing: is with the cinematic, like Sony just had. Did you know that Sony actually recently launched a new cinematic universe themselves?
What?
The Mummy. That was supposed to be a start of the new cinematic universe.
I heard that movie was crap, though.
And guess what Sony has done since then?
Killed it off.
Killed off their cinematic universe. Imagine that. Yes. So it's kind of like, you know, people. It's the copycat. You know, it's Hollywood. They're copycats. Yeah. So they've seen what happened with Marvel with their cinematic universe.
And they're trying to create one of their own.
But here's what Marvel did that nobody else has been able to do. The movies are great in their own right.
And they also stay true to the source material.
Let's not be honest. 98% of people don't care about that.
I know, but still, it's that 2% that really understand how to bitch and moan and wreak havoc on the internet.
Okay.
I don't know. It's always the individuals that are pissed off that are the loudest.
Yeah. I mean, it's, you know, look at what started this. Iron Man started it, all right? Wasn't that basically like the first one? Of the new MCU.
Yes.
And you know, when that came out, I mean, I'm sure they had something in their mind like, hey, if this is awesome. But when the first Iron Man came out, it's not like we were already talking about like, hey, dude, let's have this whole Marvel Cinematic Universe. We're gonna have all this, and there's gonna be the big battle. You know, it's
right.
They made a good movie. You know, first and foremost, they made a good movie.
Well, no. First and foremost, they got the perfect actor to play Tony Stark.
This is true.
Holy crap.
This is a good point.
Robert Downey Jr. is Tony Stark. As soon as I heard it and I saw like a picture, I'm like, yes. Yes.
Okay, question for you then.
Sir.
Do you think Gal Gadot will be Wonder Woman in the way that he became Iron Man? If
the DC universe doesn't screw it up, actually, I already know for a fact that that her franchise is probably.
Oh no.
The thing that made Wonder Woman amazing, other than the fact that it's an absolute ripoff of Captain America, it really is. But it is. Okay. She's from an isolated place. Yeah. She's completely lost with technology. She's got a companion who is going to be by their side to help them. They have a ragtag group of random people who's going to rescue the entire world from destruction and devastation. One has the Red Skull. The other has a mythic god.
But the thing that works with Wonder Woman so well, too, and this is why the other spoiler alert here is...
It's a woman.
No, it's... Okay, so here's why I think a lot of people have a disconnect with the DC Universe versus the MCU.
Okay.
The MCU, yes, that stuff happens. You know, City Swap and shit. But in the end, the characters they're still humanized. You know, they're still... I mean, yes,
cut up, Thor, beaten up.
I mean, they still Thor, who's a freaking god, and yet we can relate to him. Yeah. You know, he's a guy who has issues. And yet...
They all have issues.
And yet you have Batman and Superman who are like, woe is me. My life is terrible. Oh my gosh. Whereas Wonder Woman, you have her, and we can relate to... Like, she's very relatable as a character.
Yes.
Because she's like, you know, screw all this bad stuff that's happened to me. I'm still going to go defeat this bad enemy at the end of the movie. Whereas if it was Batman, it'd be like...
I have to go sulk in my cave a little bit.
Or, yes. And it's just like... So for me, that's where Wonder Woman was so great, and I hope they continue. We don't know. It depends. Does Zack Snyder continue to direct? Hopefully not. I know
but I know for a fact that there is a Wonder Woman 2 movie coming. Unfortunately, it's going to be a male director, and if you've seen any of the footage and stuff of Justice League and what Wonder Woman looks like, you can see that that's already a huge issue, because Wonder Woman looked phenomenal, looked amazing.
Absolutely.
The armor was awesome, but apparently they trade everything in for like a metal bikini or something.
Why?
They like try to sexy her up. She's already sexy.
She was freaking sexy as could be, man. Like, I mean, more is better sometimes, people.
The way that whole armor just fit her,
perfect for her,
and the way she could. Anyways, so it's a very, very. I hope that they fix this and they go back to the formula that works.
Yes.
If it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Amen. And you know, you could have Wonder Woman. She encounters an issue, but she overcomes it without being over-sexualized. Is that too much to ask?
She was still sexy as hell.
No,
she didn't have to be over-sexualized.
You're right. No, she was sexy without being sexual. Yes,
exactly.
So we're on the same page.
Yeah.
It was a great movie. So it worries me.
Look, you don't have to slap people in the face constantly with boobies. If the chick's got the look, we've got a good enough imagination, okay?
So with Hasbro, do you think they can actually make this work? What is your opinion of the Hasbro G.I. Joe D&D Micronauts / My Little Pony potentially?
Well, see, here's the thing though. We're talking about 4. The thing is, what did the hell they say? They said that they wanted to make. G.I. Joe being the centerpiece in the Hasbro cinematic universe. The thing is, with Marvel, you have all of these potentially. I mean, you know, you've got Thor, who is in the realm of gods. And he goes to all these different planes and stuff. Yet he interacts with individuals like Iron Man or Captain America, or you have other individuals from faraway places that could potentially interact with them. Okay. DCU's got the same thing. When we're talking Hasbro, it's not like you're going to see an elven thief from Dungeons and Dragons teaming up with, a G.I. Joe with a Micronaut.
I would like to see Rock do like his people eyebrow. He's like, an elven archer coming out of the woods. I want to see the Rock be like, do like his eye thing. That would be pretty legendary.
He would not be an elven archer. He would be.
No, he like when he sees the elven archer.
Oh yeah.
Like he's in G.I. because he was in G.I. Joe.
No, right.
So he prices his role and he sees the elven archer come out of the woods with like a bow and arrow. And he does like one of the smart ass remarks.
Probably just picks up that the missile in Fast and Furious 8 where he just picks up. Here you go. But
you got an arrow, I have a like rocket launcher.
See, I don't understand the use of Hasbro Cinematic Universe. That just seems weird. I think that Hasbro is going to start a bunch of different franchises up, but it's not in my mind, it's not a universe because you're not interacting.
It has to be a shared plane.
Yeah.
Whereas like D&D, it's like it's its own universe in of itself. I mean, think of the number of stories and different characters you already have created in Dungeons and Dragons. Like it's there for the taking. I mean, look at Dragon. I mean, look at all the. I mean, you already have like the Dungeons and Dragons book universe that's been created throughout the years between Drizzt T and Dragonlance, of course, and all that stuff. You have so much lore to already pick up on. Like, why hasn't it already happened is a mystery. I mean, we've seen that it can be, well, that's the key. Can it be done well? I mean, we saw, you got two different ends of the spectrum here. You have the one end of the spectrum where we saw, what the hell is that damn German director's name?
You bull.
When he's tried to dump that type of stuff. But then you look at, obviously, what's happened with the Game of Thrones. And the Game of Thrones is much more in the D&D realm type of stuff as far as the fantasy done well. So we've seen that it can be done really well.
But the thing is, they're basing their stuff off of the thing is, Game of Thrones is based off a universe that definitely could be adapted into Dungeons and Dragons.
Yes.
Dungeons and Dragons, basically the rules and machinery behind the scene that get things done. It's a foundation. It's a blueprint. It's not a set story. Now, of course, if you were to do a story or a movie based off of like Legend of Huma, that might work. But the thing is, when you say, yeah, we're going to make a Dungeons and Dragons movie, that is so vague. It's...
You know what a Dungeons and Dragons movie is? Lord of the Rings.
No, exactly. Any sci-fi fantasy movie could potentially be classified as Dungeons and Dragons.
Sure.
If you see the movie and you're like, I could write that adventure and have, and I could make that work and this work and that would be a die roll and that would be a die roll, then it's Dungeons and Dragons.
I really want to
some
see
kind
like,
of D20 system.
Somehow, like in the middle of like a battle in a Dungeons and Dragons movie, like somebody actually rolls like a D20 dice. Be like, no, we botched! We died, we got eaten by the mimic. That's already on fire.
Every single time you run in and you're about to strike someone, you have to roll the D20, and you're swinging your sword, and just as you're about to connect, you roll a 1, so the sword like ricochets off, and it bounces off the ceiling and stabs you in the face.
You know what? I actually want to see this now.
What?
In all seriousness.
Yeah.
See now how Netflix is planning on doing basically like the kind of choose your own adventure like movies. Like this is actually perfect. Like you're watching a movie and the main character goes up against the big bad kobold. So you like have to actually roll like a virtual dice to see what happens. Now that would be cool. It's never gonna happen.
Your luck will change the story.
Oh man.
So, I mean, I'll be very interested to see. I mean, this is really. We're talking 2020 through 2021. So.
On the most serious note, I'm actually really serious to see what they do with the. So the new G.I. Joe, is it a complete reboot from the G.I. Joe that happened in the last decade, or is it just complete like clean the slate? We're starting all over.
Yeah,
that's what I'm kind of curious over.
That'd be very.
I think that's the first thing is cleaning slate, or we're kind of continuing on with the same stuff. I don't know. It'd be interesting. Bring back. I mean, I could see The Rock coming back and being like the main G.I. Joe guy in the franchise. He could pull it off.
He's gonna be too busy. 2020, dude. He's gonna be in the White House.
Okay, this is a trade-off I'm willing to make. I can live with that.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's move on to the next one, and this is actually very interesting. So, as many people know, when you're famous, you're basically put on a different playing field. You're held to a higher standard than the vast majority of no.
Come on.
No. It's gonna be.
It's the Rock and Rock connection.
It's Dwayne Johnson and Tom Hanks, dude.
It's the Rock and Rock, man.
Whatever. Anyways.
See that the Rock speaks like eloquently, and Chris Rock just tells it as it is.
Oh Lord. Okay, so let's get back to the Overwatch. Okay, so Overwatch Pro League is, I think it's a couple weeks away. Is that right? Oh no, sorry, about a month. It's got about a month.
Well, it's a couple weeks-ish.
Yeah. So, anyways, as many people know, going back to my original statement here, individuals who are famous or celebrities or sports stars or something, they're held to a higher standard. Well, there's a bunch of rules and regulations, of course, in any competitive game.
Sure.
And Overwatch, some of the pros for some of the teams on this pro league thing have already been fined or suspended.
Ooh, wow.
Because of violating rules inside Overwatch. Now, of course, this is a big deal.
Do you have any examples?
Yes, I do.
I'm curious.
And I'll tell you right in just a second.
Okay.
But of course, it's a big deal because, you know, this is a fledgling league. It hasn't actually taken off. And these are the teams that are location locked.
Here's the thing, though.
Yeah.
So, I follow sports. I follow news pretty closely.
Yep.
This is the first I've heard of this. So, in terms of people, depending on the level, let's see what the trouble is. But depending on the level, I'm not sure people are going to actually care.
Well, right. But the thing is,
obviously, Blizzard doesn't want this.
Obviously, because
Yes,
they
don't want it.
You want your best product
Yes,
right out of the gate.
Absolutely.
So, okay, so there is an individual who has gotten nailed by Blizzard twice in 1 month.
Twice?
Uh-huh. And it is the Dallas Fuel tank player, XQC. He has most recently been slapped with a 7-day in-game suspension after he got super duper angry on his live stream and started throwing matches, which of course is inappropriate for Overwatch, and so he was suspended for 7 days. Now,
that's going to be some great trolling in chat when he's on.
And he's actually expecting even more consequences coming up. He said that basically he was frazzled after a long day of professional scrimmaging, which contributed to him getting mad enough to throw games and make jokes about how actually another player owed him an apology. So basically, not only was he throwing the game, but he was also pointing at a different individual.
Well, you know what the interesting thing about this? All right, so let's take, like, pro basketball, for instance,
Yes.
right? So let's just say I'm LeBron James, right? And I'm LBJ, man, and I have, like, let's just say a bad day in practice. Let's be honest, we know he probably curses at his players in the locker room.
Yep.
That's what, that's considered leadership in the NBA. He did it, Kobe did it, Jordan did it, they all do it. It's like,
Bird
man,
definitely did it.
Yeah, get your ass in gear, type of thing. That's what they do. But, like, they're obviously not going to throw games, but the big difference is, so if you're a professional Blizzard player, right?
Yep.
You're still doing your stream gaming on the side.
Right.
That's the equivalent of, like, if LeBron James went to go play a pickup game at the Y and got rejected. And
It
so,
goes everywhere.
yeah, and, like, so I can see, you're kind of, you're put in this, virtual pedestal as far as, you're this esport, athlete. You're one of, obviously one of the best players in the world.
Yep.
And also you start getting beat. These guys are so hyper competitive. I could see where, obviously, throwing matches is not the right response, but I could see where getting frustrated would be very easy if you're playing in the non-competitive, the non-Overwatch league and getting really pissed off. There's better ways to handle it.
Right,
But
absolutely.
I can see where that could be frustrating because even pro basketball players don't have to deal with that. It's not like they're playing like side games on the side where they could get beat by a scrub.
Well, that's because the contracts don't allow them to do that.
Correct. Yeah, it's just
Because there's an injury factor in that.
But it is an interesting dynamic where these pro esports athletes are still playing against regular players on the side. It does create a different dynamic that you wouldn't otherwise see.
Now, of course, this gentleman is the same one who, in November, he received a 72-hour in-game suspension for misusing the game's reporting system.
Okay.
So, he of course will be ready when the league actually starts.
Okay.
However, there is a guy who.
I have an equivalent for that guy, which
Yes.
I would love to see.
Okay.
This is all sports, by the way.
Yes.
People who bitch and moan about penalties. Like that, to me, that's kind of like, I'm trying to kind of like, okay, what's the equivalent for pro sports? To me, it's, and every team has the players who do this. If they do or don't get a goal, like, what, man, that wasn't a flag, or that was a flag. I want to see that shit banned. That pisses me off. Because it's every play.
So,
every
right,
play.
right. Well, God, you wouldn't have any.
But like, that's
people on
kind of
the team.
equivalent,
Right, no, but actually, this would be this suspension for misuse of the game's reporting system is, and this actually happens with the NFL, or sorry, in the NBA.
Flopping.
It's no. When you're doing the press conference, you can't throw the referee under the bus saying that that's wrong, because that could be a suspension or a ban or a fine. And of course, if you were to touch said referee or umpire,
yes,
that's an automatic ban and suspension and all that fun stuff. But okay, so let's get to potentially the worst one right off the bat. The league hasn't even started yet. Okay, it's going to start next month.
Okay,
but here's the worst one: Philadelphia Fusion player Sado has been benched by Blizzard for the first 30 games of the league's upcoming first season. The reason is he was accepting money to log into other people's accounts and raise their level.
So who's doing... I wrote an article about that a couple months... what's the actual... I wrote an article, I can't remember the actual term. Like, there's a very technical term for this. But yeah, it's power boosting, probably.
Yeah, power boosting.
Yeah, so he was power boosting people, which is very lucrative, by the way.
Yes. Now, there was one thing that did come out about this, and he has not done this in quite a while. He actually did this. So basically, he dropped out of high school, was starting to play. He was just trying to make, like a competitor team to see if he was going to be good enough. And then all of a sudden, he shot up into the atmosphere, and he's become this thing. So this is something he did in the past. He hasn't done it since he was named as a professional esports athlete. However, it is in his past. Therefore, it is a 30-game suspension. But because it's a violation of the game's terms of service, he'll have to serve the entire 30-game suspension.
I mean, I could see where that's very... I mean, let's be honest. If I were that good at a video game, like, I wouldn't have any moral qualms about it. Like, morally... I mean, I know it's against the TOS and stuff, but morally speaking, if I want to make some extra cash in the money, I might be like, I don't know what the payout is. I mean, I know what it costs to power boost, and it sure as hell ain't cheap.
No.
But, if somebody's going to pay me a good chunk of change to, boost up their character, I might be like, well, I mean, these guys got to make money somehow.
Right. Well, and the other thing is this, once again, I want to stress that this was before he knew he was going to be able to make an esports team. Yeah. You have to understand.
You do that now, you're probably going to be kicked out.
Oh, God, yes. But the thing is, back then, he wasn't getting any money. This is the quickest way to make money.
Sure.
Now, of course, because it's in the Overwatch Pro League, everyone's got a salary. Everyone's got...
it totally changed. Like, now, you can't do it. No, absolutely.
No, but... So, anyways...
Interesting.
So, let's go... So, the final one is 2 Shanghai Dragon players. They didn't get any bans, but they got fined for... And I don't even know what this really means. They got fined by their own organization for sharing an account.
Yeah, so it just means like, if we have the Ultra Confusion Overwatch account, it means both you and I are playing it.
Okay.
And which is technically against the TOS.
Right, but what would that do in terms of...
I don't know why you do it in Overwatch, to be honest. I'm not sure what purpose it serves. But like, a really big reason you do it in MMOs is to grind for gear.
Oh yeah, absolutely. That makes sense. That's
but for Overwatch, I really don't know what the point of actually sharing an account is. Like,
wait,
it really doesn't.
Apparently, they only did it because their individual account rankings would have prevented them from playing together otherwise. But if you're playing can you log into the account at the same time?
I wonder if account sharing. I wonder if maybe they got lost in the message. Is they weren't sharing the same account with each other. They were account sharing with other people they knew, so they could play together, and that is what happened. Because that is a problem with the competitive league. Is depending on your SR, I think it's above and below only 500 that you can team with to play in competitive leagues. So if you're like, a diamond player and all your friends are in bronze, you're not going to be able to match up with them for competitive.
Gotcha. Okay. So basically, they were fined roughly $450 a piece.
Oh, okay then.
So, you know.
It is interesting though that you know we have this pro league now, and there are rules that they're enforcing. I wouldn't be surprised. This isn't the last we hear of enforcement of rules for things that people do. Now, of course, if I'm in esports, I mean, I know it's always lucrative to bend the rules for money.
Yep.
But if let's say I'm an esports Overwatch League pro player, right? As far as income goes, it seems like this is the most reliable source of income you're going to get as an esports athlete. Because otherwise, you know, if you're not getting this base salary, now you're living up to your sponsors and how will you do it. I know that helps out their income, but it's still that base salary you're guaranteed in this league. And what kind of money would it take for you to chance that permanent league salary? You know what I'm saying? It'd have to be very lucrative money for that to happen. It's kind of like, almost makes you think of tennis. You know, back in the day, people threw tennis matches all the time, especially lower ranked players, because there's just they didn't make enough money for it not to be worthwhile not to. It's like, well, I can maybe make $10,000 for winning this tournament, or I can make $20,000 for throwing my game. This is an easy choice.
Well, it's like,
whereas now, they're making enough money, though, where it takes away some of that incentive to do these not
well, right. I mean, the thing is with the Overwatch Pro League, I mean, there's a lot of rules and regulations to make sure, and like guidelines and safeguards to make sure that all the players are actually making enough money to survive.
But it incentivizes them not to cheat. It's kind of
right.
Like when they ask the top 10 tennis players, they don't cheat because they make so much money that there's no reason for them to cheat.
Right, but the thing is, we talked about this a while ago, and that was like the number 1 or number 2 StarCraft player in the world is no longer to ever play competitively because he was able to bet against himself and throw matches so he could bank more money than he would have gotten at the tourneys.
Yeah.
Now, of course, they're trying to stop that from happening.
Absolutely.
So we'll see what happens. We are all human. We're all entitled to outbursts and stuff. It's just you don't want before your start to be seen as a bunch of problem children.
Yeah, I agree.
All right, so let's talk about a very interesting thing, and I don't know how I feel about this. And this is Twitch is going to create a reality show. It's going to be called Stream On.
Not the what is it? The new streamers of Twitch or something.
Something like that.
Keeping up with the Twitchers.
Basically. So basically, the grand prize, or sorry, the prize pool is $60,000.
Oh.
Streamers will of course have to register. In order to be eligible, you will need to be an official Twitch partner, but there is no set subscription or follower count required to take part.
Okay.
So the grand prize is actually $60,000. It will be delivered to the winner 5,000 monthly stipends over the course of a year.
Okay.
Yeah, and so basically, as they stated in their press release, it's like American Idol. Viewers will play a big part and stream on. Twitch's popular chat sidebar will help decide which contestants make it and which don't. This series will take place across a number of channels on Twitch, changing from week to week as contestants compete throughout each week from their home streaming setups, and the action will be punctuated by a weekly recap and elimination show from Twitch Studios.
So what do you have to compete in? Like, who can talk about the most interesting?
So,
like, what are the challenges?
They will face challenges designed to test important streamer skills and be evaluated by a panel of Twitch judges, which still tells me Jack squat.
So, now here's the real question I have about this. Is, let's be honest, a lot of popular Twitch streamers, they're trolls, basically. They're very entertaining trolls. Obviously, people find them entertaining because they have a large audience. But nonetheless, they're kind of very trollish, and the humor has a much lower threshold than, let's just say, American Idol. You know, it's much more crude. Okay.
You're talking about some people who just get on there so they could sing like idiots for like their 3 seconds of fame, versus you got people who are going to be entering this contest are going to absolutely act like asshats.
But I'm talking about Twitch streamers who are actually good. Are also, not I wouldn't say tend to, but they can be a very good popular Twitch streamer and be total asshats, is what I'm saying. Have very colorful language.
Yes, and then you have some of the top competitors in like America's Got Talent or something, and they're still complete asshats, but they're popular because they look good.
But you also can't like use colorful language on America's Got Talent.
Now, just beep it.
I just wonder how they're going to deal with that type of stuff on Twitch.
I'm sure it's probably some rules and regulations, but I don't know what the hell they're trying to do.
I just seen like some like super troll getting like winning.
Oh, there's someone going to game the crap out of the system.
Yes.
I mean, this is
Twitch,
a live online thing.
It's basically like reality Reddit, which is not a good thing.
Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah.
I'm getting the heebie-jeebies just thinking about that.
I wish the best for everyone who's going to enter this contest. I will not be. But best of luck to you, I guess. The other thing is that I don't want that much exposure, because if you end up being like that ridiculous dude who gets that 5 seconds of glory, you'll never be able to get away from whatever the hell you did.
That's going to be your shtick.
Exactly. You're never going to be able to get away from it.
But you're right, though. I think you're a good point, though, because just like with America's Got Talent, they are going to have those Twitch streamers who are going to create like a persona for the purpose of this, just to make it look like they're whatever their creative persona is. I don't even know what that means, but they're going to do something crazy.
Right. Just
to make it look like, oh, look at me, 5 seconds of fame. But here's the difference, though. I think with America's Got Talent versus Twitch, those 5 seconds of fame for Twitch can make your Twitch channel. Like you get those 5 seconds of fame, and all of a sudden, your readers or followings on Twitch can skyrocket enough to make you extra money. Versus,
or you could do something bad, and it never goes away.
True.
And you get moxied.
Yeah. Ooh, yeah.
Or doxied, sorry, not moxie.
Doxed, yeah.
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 Whatever. Doxy, moxie, whatever.
Moxie burger?
Moxie burger.
Now I want a moxie burger.
But anyways, so I'll be very interested to see. I think this is going to be a very failed experiment, though.
Yeah, I don't see it being like, hooray. Whoa, I don't know.
Okay, now this next one, oh, hell. We'll go to our favorite topic.
You have a favorite topic?
Yep. FCC.
I think you lied to me. This is not my favorite topic.
Here's the thing, ladies and gentlemen. There's still a way to stop all this shit from happening. You have to call your state representative and bombard them. Chances are they've already decided. Hell, there's a couple websites that will tell you what they're going to do. But hopefully, maybe the world around us, of all the United States citizens, will be like, damn, I don't want this to go away. And you'll make a big enough stink where they'll be forced to do something, because here's a fun fact. Individuals in the Senate and in Congress, they want to continue to be there because they make nice money.
You mean they might possibly listen to the constituents and what we actually want?
If there's a high enough percentage of the constituents saying, you have to stop this, or you're not going back in office, they probably are going to.
So what is the Verizon donation to human outcry ratio necessary to make this happen?
Oh, I don't know. Anyways, I mean, because the thing is, at the end of the day, if chances are it's going to go, net neutrality is going to go away, and a lot of people are like, well, you're never going to be able to do this website or that website. Potentially, yeah, you're right. But the thing that's going to get hit the worst are those small sites, or those sites that are just entering the marketplace, like a new form of Netflix.
Paid prioritization.
Right. The other thing is, no one really knows what the hell is going to happen with Hulu in the very near future, because with Disney buying Fox, and Fox being the controlling stakeholder in Hulu.
So Disney owns 66% of Hulu now is what it comes down to.
Are they going to shut it down? Now, of course, rumors are saying that they're basically going to use that as a springboard to customize it. It's probably going to be a rebrand, but they may try to continue to work with the other
media conglomerates,
and maybe just maybe this is going to be the Disney streaming thing, because what they were going to do is they're going to pull everything
Disney,
and they're going to do a Disney/ESPN special streaming platform.
Because like all the Disney stuff on Netflix is going bye-bye.
Yep.
Like you may have just seen like Guardians of the Galaxy went on there and other stuff. Yeah, in about a year, that's all gone.
The other thing is that's not the only stuff that's leaving. There's a lot of anime that's leaving at the end of the year as well. I've heard that Crunchyroll is getting more of an exclusive contract.
Well, there's a big reason Netflix is so invested in doing their own.
Just in case all of these disappear.
Well, they saw the writing on the wall like 5 years ago. I mean, that's what the CEO said. Like, we're investing billions of dollars in our own rights because we understand that at some point these other rights holders are going to start jacking up the price to a point where it makes no economic sense unless we prepare. It's kind of like Amazon versus Sears. Sears had the infrastructure in place to be Amazon. I mean, they had all the shipping magazines, they had the stuff to move stuff day to day to get to like that day, and they just totally missed the boat. They didn't think the whole Amazon thing they thought it was a fad. People would still go to the store. Obviously, they're wrong. Netflix, they bet on themselves. Instead of just doing business as usual and just assuming they can keep these rights agreements alive, I mean, if Netflix didn't have their stuff, like all the Marvel stuff and all the movies they're putting out, Netflix would probably be dead already because they're losing so much content, but because they're creating their own content, they saw ahead what's happening.
And they're also getting to the point where all the content they're putting out doesn't have to actually run its course if it's not working.
Yes, sure.
Which, by the way, tomorrow is the release of that new Will Smith movie.
Oh yeah,
Bright. I have been so pumped to see this, and I hope to God it does awesome.
Really? How come?
Because it just looks cool.
Okay.
And I like the premise of it. Anyways, so
you know what Netflix reminds me of?
What?
It's going to be HBO.
Yeah.
It's just another premium streaming station where they have a lot of their unique stuff. You know, they're going to have some movies and stuff on there that you can see, but you're there for the you don't get HBO to watch the movies. You get to watch Game of Thrones and True Blood.
Right, but that's what
Netflix is going for.
HBO saw the writing on the wall.
Yeah, they did. You're right.
Because they used to just show movies and they'd have these movie contracts. Now they created their own original content.
Yep.
So if people like a 20th Century Fox or TriStar or Lionsgate or wherever decide to pull their content, they still have content to give out. Which is why Hulu did their own stuff and Amazon Prime is doing their own stuff. But okay, so seriously, ladies and gentlemen, talk to your state representative. Tell your friends to tell their friends to tell their friends to. You get the picture. Bombard the shit out of these people to make them aware that if they do let net neutrality pass, that we will not support their reelection, because that's what matters at the end of the day. If you can threaten their job, then they have to listen. It's sad but true.
It's the only thing that matters, because as much as corporations do control our congressmen, is the end. It's the people who still vote them in.
Right.
At the end of the day, I mean, yes, they give the money and they buy the votes, but at the end, the corporations don't actually vote them in. It's us who actually go to the local precinct and vote them in. And we just saw, I think it's like Virginia or West Virginia or someplace, where the House Representatives, the seat flipped by one vote. Mm-hmm. One vote. So, I know we like to say, our vote doesn't count. We can see one vote actually did make the difference for their election.
Well, and as to Zealeus's point, the constituents are the individuals who put them in office, and it's the corporations that then influence their decision making.
Yes.
Now, of course, if we don't elect them, then that means they can't get that awesome money from the corporations.
Sure.
So, do it. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I want to take this to a serious place real quick. Okay. That's not it. All right, ladies and gentlemen, there's this thing. If you are suffering from any type of mental illness, if you need help, please, please, there are people out there that can help you. Call a suicide prevention lifeline. There's all this stuff you can do to help you get better, to maybe rearrange your life and come out stronger. The other thing is about this is, if an individual is going to social media to show that they have a problem, that they're actually got the big enough cojones to say they have a problem, that does not mean that to check for their sincerity or validity, you do a history check of their family members. It's not their family members that's having the issue, it's them. People have been, I don't know what the hell this obsession is all of a sudden, but there have been a lot of people who've come out saying that I've been cyberbullied or being bullied at school, and people are like, oh my God, it's so bad. And then some dickhead goes out there and goes, well, you know what? It's probably just for show. His mom, who apparently is like a Nazi racist, homophobe, look at all these different pictures and all her posts. It's really because of that. So you should hate on that kid for what his mom does. It's not how that works.
People are crazy, man.
Look, you in situations where there is a life being threatened, in any regard, be it verbal, be it physical, be it emotional, whatever, you cannot try to paste on the sins of a family member on that individual, because that, my friends, causes a very fast downward spiral towards that person who's actually man enough or woman enough to come out and say they have a problem.
I didn't even know that's a thing.
Unfortunately, for some reason, it started really happening in the past couple months, where individuals have come out, voiced an opinion, or said something, to the fact of, I'm getting the shit kicked out of me every single day. I don't understand. I feel so alone. Then you have this outpouring of, support and trying to help individuals. And then there's that one asshat that like starts doing, well, the validity of how scared is this kid about being bullied. And then you have those real dickwads who come out and try to, and this is a favorite, this is the term of the year. They will put out fake news. And then all of a sudden people are like, well, that's why he got beat up, because he decided to pee in all of the lemonade. I don't know why I came with that topic, but someone's going to come out with it, and all of a sudden everybody's going to be like, oh, but he deserved getting the shit kicked out of him because he was being a dick, without actually checking for validity. There's this amazing thing called checking your sources.
Social media is so confusing.
It's not even social media. It's news outlets now. I understand that people want to have the ability of getting out in front of any and every popular viral thing out there. But for the love of all that's holy, make sure you actually know what the hell you're talking about and it's actually true before you start spitting it out, because we are in a world of instant gratification. I need to know now.
That's why they got to be first.
If you give out false information,
we will know.
No, the problem is we are dumb enough to just follow along. Look, we are very intelligent human beings. However, at the end of the day, we are dumb because we want to follow the masses. We believe that what we're being told is the truth, because, long time ago.
What is the truth, sir?
It's out there.
Oh.
Long time ago, there was a lot of validity and a lot of reporting and background checking that had to go into news stories, because they came out in this wonderful media called paper.
What? Paper? What is this? Paper.
In order to continue to have subscriptions to the newspaper, you actually had to have verified, valid stories.
Overrated.
Yes, you had some fluff pieces about, I don't know, Aunt Jane's famous double dunker jelly bean casserole, which of course is open to opinion, but you still had a picture of it. You got a picture of her.
No, I want a casserole.
I don't think you want to double. Well, hell, I don't care. If you want a double bean casserole, more power to you.
More beans, more
Anyways,
tweetings.
but now we're at the point where it's all about that initial click, and if you put it out there fast enough, people will link off it and retweet, and that's the problem. That once that snowball starts, it ain't gonna stop. So please check your information. Please, when someone's asking for help or is trying to put themselves out there in a very vulnerable position, respect them, comfort them, and even if it's just in the fact of, you're not alone, here is a phone number you could call. There are people there who are there simply to talk to you, to help you, maybe find an individual who's local that will help talk you through, what's going on in your life. Your friends and your family could do only so much. And I know a lot of people are like, well, I've got friends, I've got family, I'm going to be cool. But they're not trained to take on certain tasks. And there's sometimes that family and friends aren't going to be equipped enough to take on some of the more challenging, maybe mental issues that are going on in your life. So, ladies and gentlemen, we have lost way too many individuals this year to suicide. The latest one I've heard, and I will not be able to pronounce the name because I can't, I'm not even going to try, but the singer from, I think, like the most popular K-pop group in Korea committed suicide.
Is that like a girls' band?
No.
The one I know of is Metal Baby.
There's girl bands, there's boy bands. It's just K-pop is basically like rock and roll. It's just a type of music.
Yeah. The most popular one I know of is Metal Baby.
Right. Well, a gentleman from one of the lead boy bands from K-pop committed suicide.
Crazy popular.
He committed suicide.
K-pop is crazy.
Oh, absolutely.
Big,
God, yes. So, look, anyone and everyone, it doesn't matter how popular or how famous an individual is, there is a chance that this individual could be dealing with internal struggles. Chester Bennington. Oh my gosh. Audio Slave. Chris Cornell. And a host of other individuals who sadly decided that taking their lives was the answer. Now, that being said, as we have stated a bajillion 97 times, and I will continue to steal this quote from Will Wheaton, don't be a dick. Look, I understand that you think that you are the greatest thing since sliced bread when you're playing casual online games.
Well, thank you.
You're welcome. But the fact of the matter is, sometimes people either are having a bad day, maybe they just started playing this game. You do not need to tear them a new one in a casual game, all right? Now, if they're playing ranked mode and they're playing like shit, sure, call them out. It's ranked. I think, of course.
Put on your big boy pants, man.
Exactly. Now, of course, if they start threatening your family or they start doxing you or anything like that, that's taking it too far. Yeah. But if you want to just, voice some concern, like, dude, do you really even know how to fucking play this character?
Do you have your keyboard plugged in?
Do you understand the concept of you're a healer?
Stop feeding.
That I understand. Now, of course, like, if you start using words like, oh my God, you're so, I don't even want to say the words because
I hear you.
But,
fill in the blanks here.
Yeah, exactly. Here's the deal. Anyone and everyone, hell, we'll go back to the gentleman that got suspended for basically raging on Overwatch. What is it? XQC. There are times where even the best of players or the most brightest of stars has a bad day or gets frustrated. That does not mean that you're supposed to load on to him. Of course, he started passing the blame. That's a no-no. Don't pass blame. If you're playing like shit, own it. I do. I will tell you right now, when I'm playing like shit, you'll hear in my stream, God damn it, I'm playing like shit. Be kind to your internet neighbors. If you're going to say something, put your name on it. If you can't say it without putting your name, if you can't say something
without putting your name
putting your name on, don't do it.
It's probably not worth saying. Just delete it.
And if you I mean, you can get emotional, you can yell at people, maybe say the wrong thing, but stop it there. Don't let it snowball, okay? Seriously.
No snowball fights.
It is very, very, very important for everyone's well-being to be well.
Well, I like being well.
And in any form possible. So ladies and gentlemen, seriously, if you have an issue or perhaps you have an individual who may be showing signs of being depressed, being anxious, maybe even suicidal, tell them they're not alone. Give them a phone number such as the Suicide Prevention Lifeline, which is 1-800-273-TALK, that's 8255. Or, you know, find, maybe there's a local organization that deals with this stuff. I know that the institution I work for is putting in a brand new behavioral health hotline for individuals, which is just a fancy way of saying suicide prevention hotline, behavioral health hotline for students to be able to talk to a licensed or veteran individual who's worked these type of things to get the most out of a conversation, or maybe point them in the best direction, because that's what they're there for. So seriously, ladies and gentlemen, take it seriously. All right, ladies and gentlemen, unfortunately, we've reached the end of our show. I know, it's terrible. But ladies and gentlemen, I do want to take a second and mention a couple things real quick. AndoCon is happening March 9th through the 11th, 2018 in Atlanta, Georgia at the Marriott Peachtree Corners. Of course, Zealeus and I will be, or Ultra Confusion will be there in some shape or form. I, of course, will definitely be there. Zealeus, I don't know.
Yeah, but I might be playing board games all day.
Right, exactly. But Ultra Confusion will be there. You have to be, you need to be there. This is an analog gaming convention. So we're talking board games, we're talking pencil paper RPGs, we're talking card games, all that type of stuff. It's a lot of fun. I mean, it's a small convention, so it's buddy-buddy. You're going to be able to hang and chill with everybody there. MomoCon is coming up May 24th to the 27th, 2018. Once again, be at the Georgia World Congress Center. We have already put in I've put in for press credentials. We have submitted 2 panels, and of course we'll have a fan table. We're just not exactly sure what that fan table will be like, as we've kind of moved away from doing game reviews. But we'll have a presence there. It'll probably be Zealeus and Jesse most of the time at the table, as I will be running around trying to do interviews. But if you, for some reason, have to talk to me, Zealeus and Jesse can get in touch with me if I'm not at the table. Shut up, Zealeus. And, you know, I'll come running back. Don't want to do one more. And, yeah, why not? Ladies and gentlemen, there's an amazing publisher by the name of Burning Willow Press. This is a publishing company that has published quite a few books that I've read as of late. A lot of them from the author Kendra Souter. I've read her, oh my gosh, the Executioner series, and now I'm doing, I can't remember the other series, but I'm through the first book, and oh, that's right, the Zombie Hunter series, where she and Santiago are together working on this title, which I really need to write a review. I really do. And I know that we're going a little bit long, but I just want to get this out. One of the main reasons why I have shied away from reviews, and this is no fault of anyone really, is that, to be honest, I'm sick and tired of writing reviews that I hand them out, hand them off, and then I don't hear anything about it.
It's because they're all so great.
Well, the thing is, look, if I'm going to be putting, because Ultra Confusion, I'm basically putting in the vast majority of time to everything on Ultra Confusion. So if I'm writing stuff and even the creator isn't acknowledging that I'm trying to help them out, that I'm trying to show some love, then why the fuck do I want to do it?
For your own edification?
No. Damn it. If I stop doing that, that means I can focus more time on the creators, create a video, and I think we're at about 5 out of 7 individuals will actually at least, you know, retweet or repost our video to at least one round. Now, of course, if you're Dan Jolly and you are a fucking like awesome dude, every single month you go, hey, by the way, here's the interview I did with Ultra Confusion talking about my writing style and my upcoming series. Yes, that makes me want to do even more with Dan. You know, it's motivation. I'm sorry, but I'm to the point where I'm doing this because I want to, but I also want to have like a little bit of love for it, and that's why we're mentioning Burning Willow Press, because the main boss behind it is a gentleman by the name of Ed. He's an amazing dude, and he's actually given us some love from time to time, so I'm going to give him some love. It's reciprocating, okay? Reciprocating. Also, ladies and gentlemen, unfortunately, I do not have the logo up right now, but I do want to, since we've got him in the audience just for a second, Nerdburger Games. Nerdburger Games is this wonderful internet company where they have created Merged Acquisitions, a game that Zealeus and I have played a shit ton of. Mm-hmm. They also have a game called Capers, which of course is the Prohibition era, kind of like superhero gangster game. And then of course, the final one is Die Laughing, which I just need to play. I don't know how I'm going to be able to play it, but I need to play it.
Probably at Androcon.
Aha! There you go. So, yes. All right. So, ladies and gentlemen, I think I'm done with my spouting. But there is one thing I do want to say right before we sign off, and that is, ladies and gentlemen, there's this amazing thing called Patreon. Patreon is a way for you to support Ultra Confusion and all that we do, be it conventions, panels, fan tables, help upkeep of all the equipment, perhaps upgrade some of the equipment. I know that some people have found it humorous about my new camera.
I'm very impressed.
Holder. It's
much more solid than the.
I will show you This was the.
It was sketchy.
The camera sat on here, and I had these two nails so I could put my phone there, so I could do Facebook Live with the camera. Unfortunately, the web camera allows us to change like the light settings.
The exposure.
Yeah, exposure, where the phone does not. So I stopped doing it because in order to get the exposure right on the camera, we're basically these white blobs on the phone. So we stopped doing that. And this, of course, has now been retired, which Zealeus was pointing this out. This is our convention computer. This is our Alienware. And literally the last couple times, it's basically been like this.
I made fun of Charlie a lot for it.
Because the camera would be sitting up here, and it's just high enough on my computer desk so that we could see it. So anyways, ladies and gentlemen, if you want to help us by doing a monthly donation through Patreon, that would be amazing. Now, of course, if you don't feel that a monthly donation is kind of more if it's not really up your alley, you might want to do a one-time donation. Of course, you could click on the Donate Now button on many of our websites, either Twitch or www.ultraconfusion.com. And it's a one-time PayPal thing. It goes all to Ultra Confusion. I know I can't stress this enough, but all this money goes to Ultra Confusion.
I tried to get my cat part of it,
it does not.
Charlie says no. I don't know why. He must hate my cat.
No, it's just simply for Ultra Confusion. I'm sorry.
She's an integral part of Ultra Confusion.
She's an integral part of you.
Which allows me to be here on Thursday nights. Without her, I wouldn't even make it here.
Okay, goodbye, Zealeus. I'll find another person. But seriously,
get Whack Kid on here.
He's in South Carolina.
Excuses.
All right. So, anyways, ladies and gentlemen, I would like to thank everyone for tuning into the Ultra Confusion Thursday Night Hangout. It's been a pleasure to give everything coming out of our heads, our mouths, and of course, our hearts. Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Charlie. His name is Zealeus, and we'll see you. Hell, our next Thursday Night Hangout is going to be in the new year. So
what?
Everybody, Feliz Navidad, Happy New Year, and next year can't get any stranger, right?
Remember, kids, keep on gaming in the free world.
Amen to that, brother.